Hi, and welcome to Concerning Middle-earth, the podcast. I'm your host, Neo.
And I'm Kristina.
Today, we're coming out late, but that doesn't matter because if you're listening in the future, who cares? Today, though, we're going to break down the second episode. We've got lots to talk about, and I think we should jump right into it, yeah? We're feeling good.
Well, you're feeling good. Disclaimer, I am sick, so if you hear any sniffles or coughing, I apologize. I'm trying to keep it down, but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
My voice sounds weird.
Okay. I'm just gonna talk with my hands.
I know.
I think we should jump into it because there's a lot of hot topics. And number one on the list is this all this hate for the characters of color on the show.
Right.
Which I think is, it is crazy for starters that there's still people that it seems like every show that comes out like this or something like this.
It's like a fantasy show. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody's like, they have to be white. It's like, why?
or like Star Wars. Like there was all this
there was even stuff like this,
this is,
for the Neil Gaiman show.
For the Sandman. Yes.
Sandman.
The Sandman. Yeah. And for Star Wars. And yes, it's a thing that happens and it's so ridiculous. And
fantasy bros are mad.
I think
stupid.
We are fans of.
Oh yeah.
I'm at least for me. I'm sure you too, but I'm a huge fan of the casting of color in this show.
Inclusion.
I love the characters.
Yeah, and I think it's important to state inclusion is very important.
Yeah.
And I think we should quote Neil Gaiman's. You should that's how we feel. Is what was it?
Yeah.
He says,
what is it? Neil Gaiman said. You look at because he did this for Sandman. You look at the character. And what you ask, does this character need to be white? And does this character need to be male? And if not, then you've just opened up your casting potentials by, I don't know the numbers, but you've like doubled or tripled your casting chance of talent that you could have.
That's how it should be,
Yes, and that's a great...
It's a great way to cast it. And I love all his... this is not related to Lord of the Rings, but I love his responses to people when they're being racist or they're being sexist. And he was like, this one guy who commented he was a purist and he blah, blah, blah. Why did you have to make this character a female actress? And his response was like, I'm pretty sure I'm more of a purist than you, and I'm fine with it. Because he wrote the show and he wrote the books. So, yeah. Anyway.
Who? What?
There was this person commented and said they were upset that Lucifer is played by a female actress.
Sandman. I thought you were talking about Rings of Power.
No.
That's where I got confused.
But anyway, So our attitude is basically who cares?
Yes, it's
casting is well done for the characters, and outside of that, who cares?
And this is something that's probably going to go on the entire time the show is thing. Because it's like with John Boyega in Star Wars, that's been out
I love him.
That's now done. That's now been done for 2 or 3 years now, and there's still hate going on about that. And
blows my mind.
Come on, get over it. That's past, and he's probably never going to come back because of it. But yeah.
So one note I had about people complaining about, because I know that people are complaining about black Harfoots, but canonically, aren't they said to have darker, be darker?
I don't know canonically.
I read a thing about how in the appendices there's three different strains of ancestors of hobbits. There's the Harfoots and I don't remember the other two. And the Harfoots were said to be more, more tanned of skin or darker of skin. So
maybe.
Canonically, it's in there, I would have to look it up, but you could basically just slap people with that and be like, Middle Earth is not just for white people.
Yeah, I know. Amazon Prime released a statement being Tolkien created a world full of diverse characters and races what it, this is the perfect environment to throw in
be inclusive.
To be inclusive.
Yeah, just cast whoever. If they're good for the character, they're good for the character.
Yes, and I'm a big fan of that. That's the way I mean, when I cast my films, my short films, I literally just look at the best auditions. I don't care, what color they are, or race, or if it works. Not race, sex. What what they whatever. Yeah. Whoever can nail those lines the best and embody that character the best is the person who gets the part.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's what's hot right now.
All that to say, racism is stupid. The end.
Yes.
I mean, the people who are all like mad about it.
Yes.
Just being dumb.
Yes.
Oh, let's talk about Galadriel. You have water on your nose.
Every time I drink out my bottle, I get water on my nose. What about Glad?
I don't remember if we really talked about how much did we talk about them changing her storyline.
We haven't, because this episode does get into it more. She's adrift on, or she finds people.
To be honest,
adrift from a wreck.
I have two trains of thought. My first train of thought is like, so far as them changing her storyline, the point has been made, and I agree with it, that like if they followed her actual storyline, it'd be really boring.
Oh yeah.
Because she goes off into the woods to give advice and get married and have a kid. Like, that's not cool. For marketing purposes, like that would not be exciting. And I also think it's important to note that Tolkien described her as the most powerful elf and fearsome and terrifying and like all of these things. So like canonically she's the most powerful elf. It makes sense that she would be. And she's 3,000 years younger. Mm-hmm. So maybe she's young and stupid right now. However, I do think her storyline in the second episode is really boring.
Yeah,
I got so tired of it. Because they're just adrift.
I think they do have there has been complaints about pacing a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think they do have a trajectory for it, and they can't move it along too quickly with everything, all the other storylines that are also going.
Bored.
Well, after watching it for the third time, it's a little bit like, all right, let's move along.
It drags on. She's been out in the water for basically 1.5 episodes, and I'm tired of it. But I am excited to see what they do with their third episode, because that's the end of the episode. So, I don't remember what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, with Galadriel, well, with any of these characters that we are already established from Lord of the Rings, they have to have a story arc, so they can't be the character that you know them as.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. It's just storytelling. Like, you have to have a character arc. So, what I'm hoping, and I think I said this last time, I'm hoping that they take her from this kind of reckless, stubborn, like, she's a young, hot-headed elf at the moment. I hope they take her storyline through the arc of how she becomes the basically peaceful but still kind of terrifying sometimes the queen that she is, or the queen, because she's like the queen of Lothlorien. I don't know. Anyway, I hope that's where they're taking it.
Sure.
I hope they're showing like how she got to be who she is, and maybe she had to go through a bunch of reckless decisions, because I feel like that's kind of what she's doing right now in order to understand that that's not the way to be. That's what I'm hoping for.
She's trying to find her way.
Yeah.
And that's not bad.
No.
People need to stop nitpicking. Enjoy the show or don't watch it.
I mean, that's a lot of the comments on my Hobbit video were like, I didn't watch past the first episode because I didn't like it. And
well, you're lost.
I know. Well, I think the second episode is a little more entertaining. Well, I like the second episode better.
Things you could see the wheels starting to turn of the plot. They did release the numbers, and they friggin' had 25. What did I say? 25 million views worldwide.
Yeah.
In 24 hours, which was like
that's a lot.
Kind of it blows most shows out of the water at this point, because getting viewers without television like it used to be is very, very hard.
Also, this is a very random thought, but like you mentioned, Where's the merch?
Yeah, I literally
I
looked
want
today going, where
merch.
is merch for this? Because I want a t-shirt or something.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. So I don't know if they didn't get it in their deal. Like, the Amazon Prime didn't get, like, the merch.
But then who would anybody be making it?
Well, New Line? Because New Line, it's partnered with New Line, and they still have a deal for merch. Probably. I don't know.
Somebody needs to get on this.
Would like to know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple $1 billion right there.
I just want to collect new Lord of the Rings things. Because I feel like we have kind of exhausted what we can get from the rest of the movies. Yeah. Unless it's, like, mega expensive.
Yes. And then, lastly but not least, because I feel like I'm going to just do this every episode, is compare this to, like, Game of Thrones.
Oh, right.
House of Dragon.
Much better.
House of Dragon, this last week, had a not massive, but a very small, little green screen flub where a character is supposed to be missing some fingers, so they're wearing a green screen glove, and they forgot to remove the fingers. They forgot, really so you funny. Just see a character with a green screen glove on. I don't watch the show. That's in the news, and I thought that was funny because Game of Thrones had the same issues. They had a Starbucks cup in the background. They had a water bottle in the background.
What a mess.
I don't think Rings of Power will have that issue, but we hope.
I would be very surprised if they did.
It's very rare for shows to have that, but for that series to have that many flubs now is kind of funny.
Have they hired a new person?
Someone to just watch it like backwards, so they hopefully catch more weird things.
Watch it upside down.
Or that.
Kind of like when you're drawing art and your teacher tells you to flip it upside down, because then you can see the differences between your picture and the.
Yeah. Okay, we could get into this episode now. Let me check my notes.
This is where the stranger wakes up.
Yes, it starts with the stranger waking up, and...
No, it starts with her touching this... Yeah, and him waking up in the fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have these very interesting moments of these close-ups of both their eyes. Like, they're making a connection. I think she reminds me very much of Frodo.
Somebody said Poppy and Nori remind them of Sam and Frodo, but with Merry and Pippin vibes.
Yes, I think they're the four hobbits all mixed up.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. And somebody,
she's very much a Frodo.
Yeah, she's not as... not as pathetic as Frodo.
But she's more driven, which is more
she's
like...
a lot happier.
Is that more kind of Merry, maybe?
Yeah.
Mary's more... Pippin would just...
Bumble through everything.
He would have sat back at the first pub and not gone anywhere. Sam too, sort of, but Sam's loyal.
Sam will go over wherever.
So, anyways, they're very much the four hobbits.
So, do you know what the words he was saying?
No, I didn't look that up.
Okay, so the words he was saying, essentially, it was more and something else. They essentially translate into secret fire, or the blessed secret fire. I don't remember. So those are the two words.
Well, this is. I'm gonna say it, and if I'm wrong, I'll be a fool. But it is Gandalf.
Yeah,
100%.
It's either Gandalf or one of the two blue wizards.
And only theory.
Well, it could be the two blue wizards. Maybe.
It's one person.
However, no, but if it's one of the blue wizards, that begs the question, like, is there going to be another one?
That falls...
I would love to see two wizards that we've never met before. Right?
I would prefer...
I also would love to see it be Gandalf.
Yes.
I really don't think it's... What's his face?
Sauron. No.
Because of all the trouble that's happening elsewhere. You know?
Because that is too complicated of a plot for people to follow. To be like, well, because then you got to explain it away. Be like, well, Sauron, he ran away. Then he decided to come back as an asteroid to trick everybody. You don't know, he'd be smarter than that. He would just put on a disguise, which is what he's going to do. He's going to put on a disguise. He's going to come as a character that seems very friendly. He is going to help create the rings
Plot twist. It's
with
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor.
Plot twist.
Oof, yeah.
It's Elrond.
Yeah.
Elrond is Sauron. No, I'm just kidding.
So, yes, but he wakes up. He's the whole episode. You don't get a lot of information out of him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about that.
He does also make a mark on the log that looks like the mark he leaves on Bilbo's door, only it's flipped.
I didn't notice that either.
I did, and I had to watch it again, and then look at the mark on Bilbo's door, because I was like, wait, is that? But yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah.
See who it is. Yeah, I just hope it's a wizard. Because I guess I would be, like, kind of disappointed if it was Sauron, because it's like, oh, well, that was too easy.
Yeah, I'll be very upset if that's the
I do
case.
hope that Sauron comes back as a character that it's not like, oh, called it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I hope.
Well, whatever happens, yeah, I hope they don't hold out for those kind of reveals, because that's annoying.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of how TV
so
works.
What keeps you watching?
Oh, I'll just watch just to see the scenery.
Yeah, I know. It's so beautiful.
So, from there, it goes on to Bronwyn and Arondir go searching the village.
Oh, yeah.
In which
Where did all the people go?
Yes, that was one thing I caught, was like, there's no dead.
Right. Well, he says that in the show.
Yes. No, I know.
There's
He
no
said
dead.
he says that, so that got me thinking.
So were they taken, or were they convinced to follow Sauron? Because he did say that they were strong supporters of Morgoth,
Yes.
right?
Either they saw it coming and they went out into hiding, or they went and followed him. Because
And also, the guy on the plank with Galadriel said that his town was taken by orcs, so what if he is also from the Southlands?
Yes, he's from the Southlands.
Southlands. What if he's from that village?
Maybe. But that looked like a very recent attack. Like, I don't.
Well, yeah,
it didn't seem like he would. Like, it looked like he probably fled a while back.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, still, you don't have characters making those kind of comments for no reason. So.
Yeah.
But is that a question that will get answered? I hope so. I think so.
Well, he's further on in the teasers too. The guy on the.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hallbrand or whatever his name is. Yes. Yeah, I know. And yeah.
I don't remember anybody's names.
Yeah, something like that. Hallmark, Hallbrand.
Hallmark.
Something.
Well, no, I'm sure it's Hallbrand. I didn't remember if he said it or that's just like his character name in the cast list.
No, that's the character's name. Oh, I almost forgot. You could call me dumb if you already knew this. The Harfoots. That is just a predecessor name for Hobbit. Because I started skimming through the appendix.
So I do get to call you dumb because I knew that.
I don't know why I didn't. Well, because I didn't.
It's so obvious.
Yeah, but so it's like Hobbit and Harfoot and Halfling. All their names are start with H.
Wait,
But no, I did have to look at it because if you actually get into the history, then it's like, oh, so and so or these people were the first credited as calling them hobbits instead of Harfoots, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Sorry, I want to look up the other two. There were 3 types of hobbit kind: the Harfoots, Dwarves, and Falahides.
Oh yeah.
The Harfoots made up the greatest population of hobbits, and most closely resembled those described in The Hobbit because they are the original hole dwellers who originated living in the sides of hills. The Stores were shorter, stockier, loved the water. They lived blah, 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 and they are the ancestors of the Buckland hobbits. And then the Falahides live in the woods of the Misty Mountains. I don't think we've ever seen those. It's believed that the Tooks and Brandybucks were of Falahide descent.
Oh, okay.
Fascinating.
Yes.
So Gollum was a Storish hobbit. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that's really interesting. And I'm You know, usually I like to read the source material, but sometimes I just want to Google it.
Mm-hmm. Theonor's hammer? Feanor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Feanor's hammer, which I did not notice Celebrimbor was carrying anything.
No, he wasn't carrying.
And I did not.
It's on display. Do
they pick it up at some point?
Yeah, yes, it's in his chamber there. It's got it on display. I don't remember that part. I just like that part because they talk about the Silmarils and make reference to all that Morgoth and stuff. I was like, oh, this is it's fascinating and it's nice to see. I don't know about the hammer was very blingy.
Well, I mean, if it belonged to the guy who found the Silmarils, I thought they were pretty.
I wonder if we won't see the Silmarils eventually. Why did I not realize
that the dwarves are mining mithril? Or they
are
will
they
be.
yet?
They will be.
Yes, they will be.
In this series. They should be.
And we should see a Balrog in this series.
That was it. So I really like looking up all the theories on who the stranger is. And that was the craziest theory, was that it's going to be it's a Balrog that took on human form to disguise itself.
Oh.
I was like, I don't think so. That'd be funny, but no.
Will we see the Silmarils in the show?
Oh.
Ever? And that leads me to the question about what's in the box. The dwarf box at the end. No. I will cut that.
I just saw a meme today that a cop comes along. What's in the box? And it's the Spanish Inquisition, because nobody ever expects the Spanish. It was just funny. Do they have the rights to the Silmarillion at all, though? And that begs the question: can they mention them? What? I mean,
but they mention them in the appendix,
right?
So they do have rights to it. They even talk. They talk about it. So, but the big question is: so what is in that box? And my theory is, because some people are like, "Oh, it's a Silmaril," but but one thought I had was that it was Noglamir. It's a necklace. It's a dwarvish necklace.
Yeah. See, that makes more sense to me.
It was the elegant necklace that was the pinnacle of dwarvish craftsmanship of the blah 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 blah. Set with a number of Finrod's gems from Valinor. Later on, would also house the Silmaril.
I just thought Finrod was the funniest name.
Finrod. Yeah, see, now that there's a show, I can kind of visualize those characters a little better.
Let's talk about the theories about the kid with the sword.
Oh, yes.
Because, especially after he cut himself and it sucked up his blood and started to grow.
It's a vampire sword.
I only have one theory. I still don't want to reveal what my theory is, but do you have any theories?
No, you did spit the theory that
somebody had said that they thought maybe he was going to become a Nazgul.
Okay, the internet.
Yes, the internet said that. That's not my theory.
No, because they're all kings.
But couldn't he grow to become a king?
No, because they all get rings of power. They don't. They don't need some dagger. I guess one weird theory was like, oh, well, maybe he becomes the mouth of Sauron or something.
Oh yeah, that's.
But I'm like,
I'm sure that he's gonna at some point
eternal
break off and become evil.
Or is he just going to be responsible for the return of Sauron? Right.
That was my other theory.
I think that's my best theory.
Yeah, is that he's gonna come and somehow be the catalyst to
Yes. No, I don't think he's gonna be Sauron. I don't think Sauron's dead. That's my other theory.
No, he's not dead though. He went into hiding.
So all these people being
people say, literally in the appendices, he went into hiding after Morgoth was defeated.
Yeah, which annoys me that all these people being like, well, the stranger maybe it's Sauron or this or that, and I go, no,
because if it was Sauron, it wouldn't make sense that he came out of the sky if he's just in hiding. And it wouldn't make sense that Galadriel was still trying to find him if he just went into hiding. That's literally her purpose at the beginning of the show, is to find Sauron because he went into hiding. And she's trying to find him to kill him.
So what are the elves even thinking then? That he just ran so far away, he's never going to come back?
I don't know. Well, because they don't...
Because that works with evil.
I think what they probably think is that his power was defeated when Morgoth died.
Right. They do mention he's a cunning sorcerer, so I think that'll come into play.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, yes, because he.
Maybe he'll come back as the guy with the weird nose.
We know that he's going to help create the rings of power.
Right. So that's a dead giveaway.
So he's going to put on his disguise. Anyways, yeah. No, that boy though.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because he's a made-up character. It could be anything.
Yeah.
You want to talk about dwarves?
I love dwarves.
I think they're
so
great
much.
in this show. They've done a good job.
Durin the father of Fili and Kili?
This is during the fourth.
Okay.
No, there's a line of Durins.
Okay. Who's Fili and Kili's parents? Because at one point somebody said, and this is going back to the whole, like, people were complaining because there's a black dwarf. And they were like, well, it doesn't make any sense because she's Fili and Kili's mom. And I was like, I don't think so. And again, who cares? It's fantasy. But who's their dad? Because now I'm lost. Because I thought that maybe they were Durin's children. And that's why there's two of them. Because there's two, whatever.
Moria. Khazad-dûm. Anyways, that is where they are.
Wait, what? Did we see that bridge?
No, we didn't see it.
Okay.
But that is where they are, in Khazad-dûm.
Khazad-dûm.
They're in Khazad-dûm.
Makes you say it like 50 times.
Part of Moria.
Right.
This is a different section of it.
How did that not occur to me? Anyway, I really like it.
It says so on the map when they show it.
Yeah, I don't read.
Which I really like.
Not true. I read so much more than.
Yeah, but I loved everything.
The design was
great. The design of it, yes.
Seeing all the working things.
Seeing a dwarf cave
in its full glory.
Or a dwarf city.
This is another point that somebody made about. This just harkens back to people who are complaining that the Rings of Power doesn't feel like Lord of the Rings. It's because it's at the height of Middle Earth. Like, it is the most prosperous time of Middle Earth.
For all the people.
And Lord of the Rings is set in what is the equivalent of a post-apocalyptic world.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, of course it doesn't feel the same. They're not living in grit and dirt and grime and ruins.
Right.
It's the height of civilization. It's like the Roman Empire versus the fall of the Roman Empire. Great analogy. But, yeah, like, everybody was at their prime at this point in time. So,
yeah, sorry.
That's why it doesn't feel like Lord of the Rings, because it's not sad.
I think...
And also, everybody's younger. Like, by 3,000 years. So there's that.
Yes. Well, things are going to get pretty bad once Sauron starts taking power.
The, Lord of the Rings, obscure Lord of the Rings fast guy, gave, like, a everything you need to know in 3 minutes. And he said something about how Elrond is going to be sad very soon, which is a recurring theme. And then at one point he's like, but he's going to get married, and then he's going to be happy, but that's not a recurring theme. Because, he helps create the thing that creates the rings, which creates the downfall of Middle-earth. So.
The show has potential to get pretty dark.
No wonder he's so grumpy in Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll just be interesting to see how their characters change.
Because they don't want to let him in, and then he has that. I don't even remember what it's called.
The right of
the
blah,
thing.
blah, blah, blah.
And they play a game.
A game. Let's
Breaking
split
rocks.
This game
Which
was
is
made up by a man.
Dwarf.
Dwarf.
What did they do for entertainment?
They break rocks. I like the contrast of how Durin's just like, alright, we're going to show off and break rocks, and that's all we're going to do. And then you go, and Elrond's talking to Durin's wife, whose name is...
Disa.
Then he's going to talk to Durin's wife, and she's like, oh yeah, the stone tells you where where to delve and where not to
Oh,
delve.
yes, I like that.
And, like, it's so different because she's like, it's all artistic and flowing and beautiful, and Doran's like, let's smash rocks.
Because she was a part of just that crew that actually delved new.
What did they call it? Resonating?
Resonating the stone.
I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
The rock. But yeah, she's part of the
I like that a lot.
rock breaking crew.
Especially after Celebrimbor was talking about how he admired that how they sculpted the rock like it was a living thing, and then she's basically it is a living thing to them.
Yeah.
Which I like a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting dynamic there with them.
Yeah, I like them. And so far, it's a hard choice right now between Durin and his wife and Poppy and Nori at the point. Who my favorite characters are so far.
I don't have any.
I like them a lot. I just want to know where the old Hobbit man got his book full of secrets.
You don't think
what is
just
his
passed
name?
down? I'll look it up.
He's apparently a famous European actor, and I have no idea. Lenny Davis? No. Is that Lenny David? I don't know. But I don't know what his Hobbit name is. Harfoot name. But yeah, I want to know where that book came from. And if, like, is it just that they've been writing down? Because they kind of made the implication that...
Sadok Burrows.
Oh, so... Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway. They made the implication that, like, it's a recording of things that have happened before.
I just assume it's a record that the Harfoots have been keeping.
Right. And so he's been like, well, this happened. Now the moon's funky. Oh, then the wolves came. Something's going to happen. We got to move.
Right.
But it's before they would normally move, because usually they move with the seasons.
Yeah, it was just interesting.
Yeah.
They don't have a real home. They're traveling Harfoots.
Harfoots.
Oh yeah. Because I liked the dynamic between Durin and Elrond.
Yeah. Me too.
And the time they have on the lift.
Yeah.
Which I expect. Well, because he's all like, you've been gone for 20 years. You can't just barge back in here,
right.
And I've had this whole life. And then he's like, what do you have to say to that? And I just like waiting for him to Elrond to respond. I thought it was going to maybe something kind of like a cliche response or something, right. But then it wasn't. And it was really good, and it was very.
Did he say I apologize
heartfelt.
or?
He was just like, congratulations. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's not the response you would ever expect.
I either expected him to like apologize. Well, I expected him to apologize, which
yes.
he did, but I didn't expect him to say congratulations. Yeah. I liked that.
And then, yeah.
You're not staying for dinner. Disa's just like, will you get over it? I love it. Despite the fact that everything in their home is stone, it looks very, like, welcoming. You know, like, it doesn't look... I always feel like, well, like, Rivendell, I always felt like it looked a little bit, like, not comfortable. Despite the fact that it's all very woodsy and whatever, it just always felt a little bit like... It doesn't look comfortable.
Sure.
But Durin's home looks very like you could come and stay a while and like welcoming, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, Rivendell's very, everything seems like, if there's anything soft, it's like all silk and...
Yeah.
I don't know how, yeah, I don't necessarily think of silk as like, yeah, as being like cozy. It's not a nice like texture. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I think that's...
So what's the end of the episode?
We didn't finish watching it for a third time, so I don't remember.
I didn't want to finish watching it for a second time.
Yes. It ends with Galadriel and the guy and the shadow.
Spoiler alert, we know who it is.
Yes.
We won't actually spoil it if you don't know who it is. Well,
who the shadow is?
Yeah.
That's covering. Yes, yeah. But we know where they're going.
I don't. No, I mean I know who you were talking about when you said who it was, but I don't know where they're going with her story. So like.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll find out, and we'll
My other question is she going to meet? Why did I never? I knew this, and it just did not occur to me while I was watching. Right. So first of all, is she going to meet her husband, whose name I never remember?
Celeborn?
Oh, dang it, I was going to say Celeborn, but for some reason I was like, no, that's not it. Is she going to meet him? Because, and I knew this, but it did not occur to me, Elrond marries their daughter.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, like I knew this a long time ago. It just didn't occur to me.
I don't think they'll do that on the show, because that's a little bit Twilighty.
Imprinted on your child, no. But I just want to know if she's going to meet Celeborn. And then that brought up the thought of like, oh my gosh, Elrond marries their daughter. And then so begins, that whole line.
Right.
And so who's Elrond's brother and where is he?
Oh, wait, that makes Arwen and Galadriel,
Galadriel is Arwen's grandmother.
Yeah. And you never think about that.
Nope. You don't. But see, again, I feel like they're very young elves at this point. So, like...
Sure. I still don't feel like there's very much time between this and Lord of the Rings, even though there is.
Yeah.
Like, there's
3,000
there's a lot
years.
of things that happened before, but no. I mean, there's not a lot of time and a lot of things that need to happen.
Fun, unrelated fact.
Okay.
The Egyptian Empire lasted for 3,000 years. There were Egyptians in the Egyptian Empire, like, thousands of years ago, as we think of it, who were doing archaeology on the, what are they called?
The pyramids?
The pyramids, because they were already old to them.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's the way that this is. Where it's like, it's such a long time, but it's really hard to fathom how long of a time that is. You know? So,
it is a very long time.
Yeah. I had a point. I just had to get there very slow. Like, that's the kind of timeline, like, it's hard to remember that it's so long ago in the history of Lord of the Rings. Like, it's 3,000-ish years ago. So this timeline is so far removed from Lord of the Rings. Which is why I feel like anything could happen and it'd be fine. Like, I don't really... I'm not super picky about what they do with the storyline, as long as the characters end up somewhere that's believable to flow into Lord of the Rings eventually.
Yes, I think that's the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we already talked about how it ends.
Yeah.
So now we're just looking forward to the next episode. And
how long is it going to take before we find out who the stranger is? Because I hope not very long.
I hope it's quick. I hope it's not the end of the season. I guess.
Probably will be. And then the next season starts when? Forever.
Well, I don't know. We'll talk about what we know about season 2. We'll get into some of those details next time.
We could always do like a season 1 wrap up and then talk about season 2.
Or something.
Our expectations.
Just try to, yeah.
Anyway.
You know where to find us.
Me.
Yes.
Or us.
Us. You, me. It's all cool.
It's good it's good to have an outro. Like, if you want to watch us on YouTube, go here. Just that.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes. Yeah. If you want to see, you want to watch the podcast, it's a video and you can see it on YouTube at Suko Films.
If you want to watch me, you can find my channel with Love Kristina. I'm doing Hobbit month right now, so it's real fun.
Or if you want to support the podcast, you can donate at Ko-Fi Suko Films too.
And share it. And
share, like, subscribe, whatever
do
whatever it is. It's different for every medium.
Like, share, subscribe. I don't
comment.
think you can comment.
Like, share,
rate?
subscribe,
I don't know.
rate. 5
Only
stars.
if it's 5 stars.
Yes. All right. We'll see you guys soon. The road goes ever on.